everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you guys can hear me. I got my headphones in because my family is watching TV downstairs. If you guys can hear me, say yes, you can hear me because I can't see the little thumbs up because I'm actually on the StreamYard. But hello. Hi, Lynn. How are you? So tonight we are going to talk about something I brought up yesterday. Hi, Rita. How are you, beautiful? Hi, Lori. Hi, Rose. Hello. If you guys can hear me, let me know you can hear me. Please say yes. I can't see thumbs up. If you guys are okay, you can hear me. Perfect. So we are going to talk about some things that I feel that it is time that we have these conversations. Hello, Jen. How are you? Please like and share this video. I would greatly appreciate it. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe to our Just Us YouTube channel. The more views we get, the more time we get, sooner we will get monetized. So hello, everyone. So tonight we are going to talk about police issues. We are going to talk about the war on police. And yes, I will say it again, war on police. Like and share this video. I would greatly appreciate it. We are going to welcome my first guest. Hi, Casey. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. Casey could not be with us tonight because he's doing some home improvements, but he's in the comments. So that's just as good for me. Anyways, we are going to welcome a guest. So yesterday when I was speaking about police issues, one of my viewers, his name is Jimmy, he said, oh, he'd love to be on the show. I'm always open for conversation and having different points of views from other people. That's the end of this, right? For us to interact. So let's welcome to the show, Jimmy Thorpe.
Hey, what's going on? Doing all right.
So tonight we are going to talk about the war on police. And I use those words very wisely because I feel, especially at this point in time, that there is an actual war on police. And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that. So I believe that there's a war on police because the amount of officers getting either assaulted, injured, or killed, or shot in the line of duty is at an all-time high. And I'm going to show you guys numbers. Like, I've been taking notes, you guys, literally. Like, you guys know I take notes. I have pages on pages just for this show. So I have a few videos I'm going to share with you guys just to kind of lead into what's happening. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Chad. Hi, Sherry. Chad said it's sick. Yes, it is sickening. Thank you. So, you know that yesterday in Chicago, there was a female police officer that was shot in the line of duty. So a female police officer responds to a call prior of shots fired. Once she responds to that call, she was actually putting up crime tape because there was a shooting prior. That's why they were there. In the process, this person who matches the description comes out. He starts firing at the police officer, winds up shooting the female police officer in her hand. Hi, Kelly. How are you, sweetheart? He shoots her in her hand. He winds up taking shots at other police officers as well, barricades himself at a location nearby in an apartment. Excuse me. Barricades himself. This starts around 11:30, and in the morning, I'm talking about in the morning, he winds up surrendering at about 2:30 after talks with SWAT and our negotiation team. I've been wanting to touch on this for a long time, and yesterday just kind of threw me right into it. And the reason it threw me into it is I wound up I was working yesterday. You guys know I'm back at work. Wait, before I get into that, let's welcome Miss Suni.
What's up, guys?
I was wondering, I was like, where did she go?
I was doing Primetime Patriots, and then we were doing stuff backstage. I was just busy for a second.
Okay. After yesterday's shooting here in Chicago, so the reason it kind of just threw me into this video was because of the fact that I received tons of messages. I received text messages, I received inbox messages, I received phone calls asking if I was okay, because it was a female Hispanic who was shot, and I fit those descriptions. And I was working, so
Racial profiling.
period. So I was very, very humbled by the calls. I truly appreciate it. I said that in my video yesterday, but I wanted to get into it because this is for Chicago. This is the 15th. Well, she actually makes the 15th person that was shot. Actually, there's 20. We thought it was 15. It's actually been 20, and that's just in 2021. And I'm speaking of Chicago and Chicago only right now. So that is the 20th officer this year. We're not even out of March yet. And then when you look at those numbers across the United States, they are horrible, horrible. The amount of injuries that were received just last summer, if we talk about just from June, just the summer of 2020 in Chicago, there were thousands of police officers injured during the riots here in Chicago. Thousands. That being said, we are going to get into a little bit of why I think it is politicized, and I will say it again. It is politicized. You don't believe me? I'm going to show you a little proof tonight. So, you can always go, it's called Officer Down Memorial page. It gives you pretty accurate numbers. It gives you like detail, and it breaks down even the injuries by police officer versus gunshots versus being stabbed versus being assaulted, etc. Like it'll give you car accidents, people that were hit, like their vehicles were struck or they were ran over, etc. It breaks it down. So again, that's Officer Down Memorial page. You can look for it there. So I want to talk about this. For police officers over the United States of America, there's 800,000 police officers throughout the United States. 800,000. There are roughly 331 American people living in the United States. 331 million American people. 800,000 of those are police officers. The police themselves make up 0.25% of the entire American population. Okay, just to kind of give you a number, we're not even at 1% of the population. We're at 0.25% of the population. Now, according to new statistics that came out, the white population is 60.1%, which has went down significantly. It was kind of always holding like between 70 and 72 maybe. It is now about 60.1%. The Hispanic population is about 18.5% of the American people. The Black population ranges now between 12.2% and 13.1%. Asian is 5.6%. Multi-races, which I don't know what that means specifically. Multi-races is 2.8%. American Indian is 0.7%. Native Hawaiian is 0.2%. Okay, so just to kind of give you a hint of what those numbers mean. We're going to add Jim back. Just to give you a little look at what those numbers mean. Again, 800,000 law enforcement officers in America brings us to about 2.5% of the population. So when we're talking about these numbers and we're talking about officers that are killed or officers that are injured in the line of duty, just so that you could have that. Where am I? Where? I wanted to talk. Okay, so according to the FBI's according to the FBI polls, 58,866 assaults on police officers in just 2018. Okay, so out of 800,000, 58,866 were assaulted. 18,000 of those led to injuries. Okay. And that's in 2018. Actually, the numbers in 2019 went up significantly. Out of police officers in 2021 that have been killed, there have been 34 so far, which is up 26% from 2020. In 2020, total police officers were 27 total. We are already at 34 and we're barely through March. Officers that were injured, the numbers are literally in the thousands, and I'm talking like 60,000, 70,000. Again, you can always look at Officer Down memorial page. You can even look up officers by name. Like it'll give you their name, how they died, etc. It gives you like specific details, so you can always look at that. So according to the FBI, it says that a police officer dies, one police death every 54 hours. So that's like what, a little over a week. But on police weeks, we work 52-hour weeks. So that's one a week. Now, when we talk about, and this is not to just compare, this is not about comparing police officers to Hispanics or to Blacks. My point again of this video is to compare, is to state that when you hear words like there's a war on police, it's because there are. It's just facts, period. The police are bad. That's the narrative, okay? That police are out here killing people for no reason whatsoever, right? Are you okay? I am okay, sweetheart. So that's what I have so far. I just kind of want to throw those numbers out to you again. Again, 800,000 police officers in America. Our population is 331 million people. We make up, police officers, when I say we, make up 0.25% of the population. White Americans make up 60.1% of the population, Hispanics 18.5%, Black Americans make up 2.2, between 12.2, I'm sorry, and 13.1 now. Asian American 5.6, American Indian 0.7, Native 0.2. Sorry, I wrote it down just so that I could have it. Oh, yeah, Jim's, sorry you guys, Jim's internet is really, really bad. He's been having some issues. So that being said, again, in Chicago alone, this is the 20th police officer that has either been shot at or shot just in less than 3 months, because we're not at the end of the month yet. We still have, what, about a week? So that being said, I believe that this is politicized. This whole thing about police are out there just killing people at an unprecedented rate. And the words they use, I mean, let's keep it 100. They use the fact that police are killing Black people at an unprecedented rate. So I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Those are not my words. So that being said, Suni, what say you?
That's funny that we're talking about this, because I put up a post not too long ago, and I said, if you think men, cops, and super straights, that's what I was calling them, represent hate, you're the issue in this country. Because like the numbers that you gave, those matter. Percentages matter. What's actually being represented in this country matters. Demographics matter. And cops, there's a war on cops. There's not a war on Black people. There's not a war on Asians. Like, those are just, this is a moment for them to politicize, like you said. It just is. And they're going to capitalize off of it because this is how they're controlling Americans. They use tragedy to scare the crap out of you. And then once they got you, and they're like, okay, what's the next tragedy? Oh, let's push that one forward. And you got people identifying with 1,000 different things. No one knows where their head from their ass is. And it's just turmoil and chaos. So there's definitely a war on cops. And you woke me up to that. Is that true? I mean, I have cops in the family, but they don't talk about what's going on. You know, they don't go in depth like you do. So it's definitely been a learning experience. And I support police officers 100% because they got a tough job
And
that I wouldn't want to do.
Exactly what you just said. You said like police officers usually don't speak up about it, right? Well, this is the thing. We're not supposed to talk about stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're supposed to. Oh, okay. I think Jim's back. Sorry. So we're not supposed to talk about these things. We're supposed to keep that stuff hush hush. We're not supposed to speak out about it because if you are, you're shunned. This is the thing. I feel that we are living in a free America, and I feel that I have the right to defend myself and the amazing people that I work with. And again, I'm never going to say that there's no bad apples. I'm never going to say, I mean, I've never witnessed it because I wouldn't allow it, but I'm not going to say that that is a major problem in policing. Literally. And you guys everybody on these platforms know where I come from. They know where I live. They know what I'm about. Like I didn't come from the suburbs. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I don't have family on this job except for my husband who I met on the job. But I'm not we used to call them juice babies. I don't have any of that. I have no juice, zero. I'm a nobody. I'm a female Hispanic from the hood. Literally, that's who I am. So I took a job because I wanted to be the change that I wanted to see in the world, period, in my neighborhood with my people. So when you say, Suni, when you mentioned that, you know, it's things that you're woken up to, I refuse to be silenced. I refuse to not fight for what's right because at the end of the day, I know that God is always going to be on my side. The truth is always going to set you free, period. So I was talking to, I talked to you a little bit about it yesterday, Suni. So I was kind of digging and I've been wanting to do a show like this for a while. I was just like, oh, it's kind of not the right time, etc. Well, yesterday, after receiving the phone calls that I received, literally, and people were like, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? I thought it's time. It is time to have this video. So I want to have you guys understand a little bit. Now, in the beginning, if you look through the comments, I think it's only on, it might be just on my YouTube page. I'll post it in the comments at the end of the show. So there's a video. I'm only going to play like a brief about it, but it is literally 2 hours long. So it's a movie. It is an amazing documentary or movie. I guess it's a movie technically because it's 2 hours. And it talks about how we have arrived to where we are right now. So I'm going to play just a kind of brief thing about it. For those of you on YouTube, the link is already posted in the comments. For those of you on Facebook, I will post it to Facebook following this live. But this is gonna kind of just throw us into what I've already talked about and what we're gonna talk about after we watch this. So you guys bear with us. It is only about 13 minutes, but I want you to pay attention to what is happening and why I continue to say, and people like Suni continue to say, that these are politicized things. These are agendas that are put out there to manipulate people, period. So let me share my screen really quick. Give me a second, you guys. Oh, let me not forget to share the audio. All right, share. All right. All right, here you guys go. I'm going to mute myself so you guys can hear it clearly.
I'd like to start the press conference and film screening. I'm going to read my favorite new verse from Proverbs. This is the Christian Life Bible, and I like to read 6:16-19. For the Lord hates a heart that devises wicked plans, a false witness who breathes out lies, and who sows discord among brothers. I'm Joel Gilbert from Highway 61 Entertainment in Los Angeles.
All right, hold on, you guys. All right, can you guys hear me? I think Suni popped out. Okay, Jim's back. Jim, can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So once I start playing the video, mute your mic.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys, it threw me out. I don't know what happened, but it threw me out. So I'm gonna play a video for you guys. If you bear with me a second. It threw me out. I don't know what's going on. Let me share the audio.
A movement. Unfortunately, that movement literally divided America. Prior to the Zimmerman trial in 2012, both blacks and whites rated race relations as positive. This has been negative ever since. The Zimmerman case also marked the beginning of the modern era of fake news and race hoaxes. It was ground zero. Because of the Zimmerman trial, Black Lives Matter was formed. The Zimmerman trial also led directly to the Ferguson effect, which was a crime disaster for Black neighborhoods with homicides up 33%. Of course, Colin Kaepernick protested America and left the 49ers. Hating America became acceptable and even mainstream. What if none of this had to happen? What if it was all based on a hoax? What if Black Americans got played by the media and politicians from Barack Obama to Kamala Harris, all for their political agendas to control their votes? What if the Trayvon Martin case was like Tawana Brawley, just another Al Sharpton race hoax? What if we could correct American history by exposing the truth? What if we could unfake the news? What if Democrat politicians and the media could treat us as individuals rather than pitting us against each other according to skin tone? What if the media could emphasize what we have in common rather than our superficial differences? What if we could all come together again? Why not? Couldn't we all pull together and love America? After a painstaking investigation into the Trayvon Martin shooting, as mentioned, I've produced the film and companion book, The Trayvon Hoax: Unmasking the Witness Fraud That Divided America. Only after I started the project did I realize I had stumbled onto one of the most spectacular identity fraud cases in modern American judicial history. I had originally set out to produce a documentary on the 2018 Florida governor's race, featuring the unexpected rise of Andrew Gillum. But the more I looked into Gillum's success, the more need I saw to investigate the unanswered questions of the criminal case upon which Andrew Gillum built his political career. Now, I had followed the 2012 shooting of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin and the subsequent trial of George Zimmerman from afar. And like many others, I had grave concerns about the lynch mob mentality that drove the case. With his dying breath, Trayvon Martin made a final desperate request of the man who had just shot him. He asked George Zimmerman to tell Mom Alicia, "I'm sorry." I was the first person in the media with whom George Zimmerman shared Trayvon's last request, "Tell Mom Alicia, I'm sorry." Upon hearing this, I had to rethink the direction of a documentary I was planning on Andrew Gillum. And as with Citizen Kane's dying rosebud, I was convinced that if I could decipher the meaning of Trayvon's last words, that I could find the way to the heart of this case. I started by examining Trayvon's 750-page cell phone records. They included 3,000 photos, 3,000 text messages, and an amazing 1,500 contacts. I got to know Trayvon in the last months of his life. I learned that he was neither the rocket scientist that the media made him out to be, nor was he a thug. Trayvon was a good kid with many friends and family that loved him. Mom Alicia was the one person that Trayvon loved most. That was his stepmother, Alicia Stanley. At the end, though, Trayvon was a very troubled teenager. I came to see his life as a series of betrayals, one more crushing than the next. His pain played out in reckless behaviors such as fighting, gun dealing, and heavy marijuana use. On the day of his death, Trayvon feared one more betrayal, this one from the girl he knew as Diamond, the girl who had stolen his fragile heart, the girl with whom he was on the phone up to the very minute he died, the girl who would emerge in various forms as the star witness in the case against George Zimmerman. Indeed, it was 16-year-old Diamond Eugene's recorded phone interview with Martin family attorney Benjamin Crump ignited the public, swayed President Obama and LeBron James, and provoked media to demand Zimmerman's arrest, resulting in subsequent 2013 trial. In my quest to find this mystery girl, Diamond, something unexpected happened. I found myself being pulled down a very mysterious side road. And to understand Andrew Gillum, to understand Florida, to understand Trayvon Martin, I had to travel this road of many unexpected turns. At the end of the road, I discovered hard evidence of an epic and ultimately lethal deception, a stunning witness fraud that divided the United States of America. After speaking with Benjamin Crump, the family attorney for the Martin family, for any number of reasons, Diamond Eugene refused to follow the script. She refused to speak with Florida state prosecutors or bear false witness against George Zimmerman under oath. Instead, the plus-sized 18-year-old Rachel Jeantel was substituted for Diamond Eugene, and Rachel became the key witness in the murder trial of George Zimmerman. Rachel Jeantel was a fraud. She was not the phone witness speaking to Trayvon Martin in the minutes before he was shot. The witness fraud resulted in the seminal race hoax of the Obama years. I call it the Trayvon hoax. This is the hoax that the media plays on Black Americans every day. You see it every day. African Americans need to vote Democrat because of a racist America where whites want to harm them because of their skin color. That's the Trayvon hoax that the media likes to play. The massive racial turmoil stirred up by the media coverage followed, and no one has suffered more than the Black youth of America from the Trayvon hoax. Now, my investigation took me places I never expected to go, from the back alleys of Little Haiti in Miami to the bucolic campus of Florida State University in Tallahassee. I really got an earful and an eyeful, and I ended up centering the book and the film on Trayvon's real girlfriend, Diamond Eugene. Indeed, I did find her. Her full legal name is Brittany Diamond Eugene. And she is actually today a very good person. I was impressed by her. She made some terrible decisions when she was only 16 under incredible pressure. And in getting to know this young woman, I was introduced to Miami's urban youth culture, a culture that thrives on some mix of sex, drugs, gangs, texting, clubbing, shopping, and social media. Diamond Eugene's particular Haitian American milieu featured its own unscrupulous subspecialty called identity switching. Now, who knew about this witness fraud? Any number of interested parties profited from the hoax. The railroading of George Zimmerman, for example, helped Trayvon Martin's biological parents shift the blame of their parenting deficiencies onto a racial scapegoat. They extracted a huge settlement from a homeowners association and cashed in on book and movie deals. Their attorney, Benjamin Crump, got his slice of the insurance payout, and he forged a national identity as a civil rights champion. The old school race hustlers like Al Sharpton reestablished their relevance and refreshed their cash flow. Of greatest significance, politicians like Andrew Gillum and Barack Obama successfully exploited the Trayvon hoax, Trayvon Martin's death, to harvest votes and win elections. Power. But as I argue in the Trayvon hoax, if there is a main culprit of my investigation, it is the media. The Zimmerman case was ground zero for the explosion of fake news and race hoaxes that have followed, one more preposterous than the next. Think of, hands up, don't shoot, or the beyond preposterous Jussie Smollett racial attack by Trump supporters at 2 a.m. in sub-zero Chicago, a hoax so phony only the media could fall for it. We expect individuals to be greedy and exploitive, politicians especially. It's the nature of the beast. But as their very mission, you, the media, are charged with shining light on political schemes. Time and again, however, the media have betrayed their craft. It's appalling that 6 years after the Zimmerman trial, so much information was left for me, an independent filmmaker, to discover. If the media had wanted to know the truth, it was there for the plucking. I was able to uncover it by simply reading available public information and following up on what I had read. So how is it possible that no one in the media chose to do what I did? Washington Post, New York Times, Miami Herald. All they had to do was read the documents. The answer is simple. The media did not want to know. The truth would not have fueled their race fear agenda. The power of investigative journalism is the ability to set the record straight, to change history for the better by shedding light and facts and exposing lies and liars. Can anyone remember the last time a major news organization broke a major investigation? I can't. In an odd way, I suppose I should thank our lazy and disingenuous friends in the media for making it possible for an independent filmmaker like myself to tell this incredible story of the Trayvon hoax. The film and book are available on the official website. It's thetrayvonhoax.com and on amazon.com. And we're about to watch the film together. This is the world premiere. You're about to see how America got played by an epic race hoax that divided us for no reason. Americans are all brothers. Black and white, we're all brothers. My hope is to show how politicians and the media have pulled us apart and used Trayvon Martin's tragic death to cause divisions among brothers. My hope is to show that the aspirations of all Americans are to come together as one nation. I'll take a few questions now, and then we're going to view the film and have
Okay, so I don't know. I was having technical difficulties. I hope that you guys are able to see that. I checked my other phone. I'm in the process of transferring to a new phone, and it wasn't showing me on my new phone, but when I looked at my old phone, it was there. So that being said, if you heard what he said, again, after this video, after we're done with this live, I will post that entire link so that you can watch the Trayvon hoax yourself. I've watched it 3 times. It was amazing. So I will post it. It is already posted. If you're on YouTube, go to the beginning of the comments, and the link is there. If not, I will post it for Facebook as soon as I'm done with this live. It won't let me share on here. But I want you guys to see that. And the reason I'm bringing that up, Jim's back. Sorry, you guys, Jim's having some technical difficulties. But so that being said, I will post it as soon as I'm done for my Facebook followers. Please don't forget to like and share this video. Now, that being said, you heard what he said, okay? Now, if you go back, right, I want to go back and we'll touch briefly on Trayvon Martin. So Trayvon was on the phone at the time he had an incident with George Zimmerman. The girl who testified during the trial was not the girl he was on the phone with. If you watch his full documentary, you will find out who the girl was. Now, who knew that? Crump, which was his attorney, knew that. His parents knew that. And if you guys know, Trayvon was raised by his stepmom. Her name was Alicia. Trayvon's last words to George Zimmerman were, "Tell Mama Alicia I'm sorry." Tell Mama Alicia. That's not his actual biological mother's name. That is the stepmom's name. So there were so many things. So many people knew about these things. And I'm sure probably some of you are finding out for the first time today. So some of you probably have no idea that the witness who was supposed to be his girlfriend during the trial was not his actual girlfriend. She's actually the girlfriend's like half sister. She was not his girlfriend. The attorneys knew that. There would have not been an arrest of George Zimmerman had they actually not had this so-called witness who was not technically a witness because she was not there. She was not there. Like when I tell you guys I watched this repeatedly, I watched it repeatedly. And I took tons and tons and tons of notes. Okay? So basically, this gentleman, he is calling it, his movie is called The Trayvon Hoax. You can watch it on YouTube. It's available on YouTube. It's like an hour and 59 minutes long, but it is worth every single minute of it, to be honest. To scream on a roller coaster in California. Yeah, for real. That's ridiculous. Now, Trayvon was killed in February of 2012. Now, if you go and you look at the records, and it's public information, you can look at it. You can all look at it. This gentleman, who is an independent filmmaker, journalist, etc., he went and dug himself. He looked through the phone records. He matched pictures. If you watch the documentary, you'll see what I'm talking about. The reason that I say that it is politicized is because when BLM came to life in 2013. Trayvon was killed in 2012, February of 2012. There was a person running against DeSantis in February, DeSantis in Florida. His name was, I can't think of his name right now, but if you watch the documentary, you'll see it. So he kind of continued with the whole, the hands up, don't shoot. They did the hoodie march, the $1 million hoodie march, etc. And when BLM came to, originally, they've changed it now. But originally, if you went to their homepage, it talked about how they fight police brutality, etc. They've changed it. And the reason I know that is because we did a video back last year, and it was very different. Now it talks about just injustices. It doesn't say necessarily police, because my point was, they said they rose to fight like police brutality against blacks when George Zimmerman, again, was not a police officer, period. If you look at the video footage and you look at, there's witnesses, the media doesn't talk about it. There were witnesses who claimed they heard someone screaming and yelling, and there's 2 witnesses. They were never put on TV. You'd have to watch the documentary so you know what I'm talking about. My whole point is this was politicized for a reason, okay? There's another video that I am going to actually show you. We'll talk a little bit, and then I'm going to show you just the end part of it, because it explains it to a T of why things are done a certain way. It explains it to a T. So again, when I tell you that when you create a narrative that the police are bad and that the police are just killing innocent people at an all-time high, and we talk about the cases that have gotten the most publicity, right? Started with Trayvon Martin. 1, he wasn't killed by a police officer. That's first and foremost. Second came Michael Brown, who was killed by a police officer, who Ferguson went up in flames. Okay, and they found out that the officer was not lying. He had DNA on his gun from Michael Brown, meaning that Michael Brown was touching his gun. There was information. We're not going to get the details of each and every one. I just kind of want to recap really quick these narratives and how they're politicized so that they're created a certain way. Yeah, Barbara Noor by a white man, correct, because George Zimmerman is not white. It's clear if you look at him, he's not a white man. But it talks about all these politicians, like even Barack Obama. Do you remember his speech? He's like, "Oh, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon Martin." I'm telling you, like, people ran on certain things and they pushed the envelope to get what they want. It's not about the people, and I cannot say it enough. It is not about the people. We, the people, need to wake up. We, the people, need to start holding these politicians accountable for their BS. Also, George Zimmerman filed a lawsuit last year for like $100 million. He's suing the Martin family. He's even suing the attorney. Now, I would probably do the same, because these attorneys knew that this was all fake. They knew that this was not the girlfriend. And this trial went on. So when people are like, "Oh, I can't understand how he got off," well, because there was a lot of lies and deceit that were behind it, that of course the media is not talking about, period. Anyway, so it pushes us into BLM, Trayvon Martin, then comes Ferguson. If you look at like all the big names that caused like all these riots, and you look at the cases themselves, and you look at the information that's being pushed forward, again, have you ever heard them come forward and say, "Hey, that's not what happened. This is what happened"? Have you ever heard them correct themselves? No, they don't. They don't. And that leads me to my next point. I'm going to tell you exactly why they don't. Let me get out of this video. Where is it at? Okay, let me get out of this video. Give me a second. Sorry. You know I got to toggle back for it. What minute is it? 1 hour, 46 minutes. Okay. Sorry, guys. Bear with me, please. I have to actually set it. No, that's not it. Hold on. Sorry. I need to go to 1 hour and 46 minutes. And this is not long either, but it's going to give you guys like a nice little gist of what I'm talking about. All right, there we go. All right, so sorry. Okay, Jim's back. All right, so now, that being said, I'm going to play this part, and we're going to talk a little bit about it afterwards. Hopefully soon to be back by then. We'll give you some viewpoints from Jim, and we'll give you some viewpoints from me. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. This is really good information, you guys. And unfortunately, the only way you could find it is by digging for it.
Hoax.
because it became the standard scam the media would play on Black Americans to control their votes.
Matt Gutman is in Miami with the latest on all this.
Hey, good morning, Robin. We've been following this story for a few weeks now.
The Trayvon hoax goes like this. The media repeats a story with no questions asked that a Black person was attacked by a white male because of skin color. Then they say the white person represents America. So Black people must be very afraid. And to protect themselves, vote Democrat. On Election Day 2012, Felicia Cineas tweeted, "Vote Obama or die." That's the Trayvon hoax.
She's
Felicia,
Trayvon
Diamond,
Martin.
and all their friends and family bought into it as kids. The fear prevents people like Felicia and Diamond from connecting the problems in their families to the Democrat policies controlling their communities. The terrible schools, drug cultures, gangs, and lack of jobs in urban America. Vote Democrat or we're gonna die. That's the Trayvon hoax.
So you said, my name is Diamond Eugene, and I'm 16.
Don't say my name or my fake name. Don't say my age, my fake age.
Without Rachel Jeantel, the fake witness, George Zimmerman would never have been arrested nor been the subject of the most racially charged trial since OJ.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes, sir.
You're appearing here at this time for charge of murder in the second degree.
One word to describe Rachel Jeantel. Truthful.
What exactly did the state of Florida prosecutors know?
He bought Skittles and some kind of watermelon or iced tea or whatever it's called.
For over a year, they had access to the cell phone data that I used to find Diamond. The photos were not Rachel Jeantel. The explicit text messages were not sent to Rachel.
There was another young lady that he was seeing.
Trayvon Martin was in a relationship.
Yeah.
The voice on the phone with Crump was not Rachel Jeantel.
He was walking out the store.
He was leaving the store.
Trayvon, you like walk.
Trayvon started walking.
Raining hard.
It was not raining.
The signature on the letter was Diamond Eugene, not Rachel Jeantel, and it was not signed by Rachel.
She is a 16-year-old teenager.
Rachel was not 16.
How old are you now?
18.
The address Sabrina took the police to on Flamingo Drive was Diamond Eugene's house. Rachel even confessed that she was lying at the deposition.
I ain't know about it.
Huh?
I ain't know about it.
If I could figure it out in a few months, with a full year, shouldn't the prosecutors have figured it out too? Could that explain why so much evidence was withheld from the defense until just before the trial?
I'm not prepared to make an argument. The state's obviously been working on for months and months and months just to spring it on everyone at the last minute.
The effects of the Trayvon hoax continue to this day. George Zimmerman lost his job, got kicked out of college, and lost his wife.
Emotionally, the trial was very devastating on me. Even after the trial, I was being accused of being a racist, a murderer, and a bigot. There was no way I could handle the fame, and it wasn't fame, it was negative fame. Looking back, I kind of internalized all this negative attention on me. If people were going to label me as such a bad person, such a jerk, I was going to show them that I could be. It took me a few years to work through it and go back to being the person that I was.
Jeantel was born premature, and reading never came easily.
You had a fourth grade reading level.
Yeah.
Rachel Jeantel dropped out of high school and later went to an alternative school and graduated at age 21.
She was depressed. We actually had her evaluated, and she was actually suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of this ordeal.
The cruelty of those who allowed Rachel Jeantel to testify cannot be more obvious. As for Diamond Eugene, Jeff later tweeted, "Brittany was looking so good, but I had to drop her." Jeff broke up with Diamond around the time Rachel Jeantel appeared on the witness stand. When the trial verdict was announced, Diamond tweeted, "My heart goes out to Trayvon Martin's family. I can imagine how they're feeling. I want some Krispy Kreme donuts."
Mute myself. Oh, Jim's back. All right, so I just wanted to play that so you guys can kind of hear what's happening. Don't forget to like and share this video. Again, things are put into a certain position. We have all discussed it. Anthony, Suni, Cash, myself, Chris, John T. Show. We have all talked about these things in so many different ways. We have talked about it because we know that it's happening. Again, these are agendas put into place to place people in fear, because when you have people in fear, you can actually control them. Why did the media not cover this? Why did the media not come back and say, wait a second, Rachel Jeantel is not Trayvon's girlfriend. Trayvon's girlfriend was Diamond Eugene, who winds up being, her first legal name is Brittany Diamond Eugene. But they switched them up because Brittany refused to go on the stand and lie against George Zimmerman. So they got someone else to do it, which was Rachel Jeantel. Like I said, watch it. He shows you receipts. He gives you everything again. All these things are put into place for a reason. We are not crazy. We are not conspiracy theorists. We actually research, and we are telling you what is happening. There is a war against police officers. No one can say that there's not, when you have officers that are dying and getting killed simply for wearing their uniform. Simply for wearing a uniform, period. Jim and I were talking backstage a little bit prior to going live. And Jim said something actually very interesting to me. Jim, do you wanna repeat what you said when you said that you've been in Afghanistan and you said there was something you felt about from you being in Afghanistan and police officers, what they deal with today? Can you hear? You have to unmute yourself. You're muted right now. Unmute yourself.
I can barely hear, but I know what you're talking about. What we were talking about earlier. You hear me now? What we were talking about before you started the show is like, yeah, when I came back from Iraq, and you feel, you've been in a war zone or whatever, how dangerous that is. But after coming back, and then Barack Obama was president, and then with the targeting on the police officers, when I go into a store now, I see police, I feel sorry for them, because at least when I was in Iraq, I knew who my enemy was. And now I feel for these police because they don't know which way it's coming from. They just got targets on their back. Just the way the news narrative is and the politician narrative. And they're just throwing, putting targets, and we got police officers, good police officers, getting attacked, ambushed, killed, based on politics and for power. And with your video you just played, I didn't hear a lot of it, but I've heard that before about the Trayvon case, and the fact that these people can go ahead and lie, and the proof is out there, and nothing's ever done. And that's sad where we're at in this country, that you can bring evidence and nothing's ever done. So, and we put, had so many police officers targeted, like the police officers in Dallas back when Obama was president, and then he goes down there and speaks, but he couldn't help but go through the whole service without speaking about other people, that have been attacked, the Black lives that have been attacked. And then we hear, with the Trayvon thing, it was the rise of the Black Lives Matter, which does not a damn thing for Black lives. If you go, if you do some research, unless your name is Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, that's who the money goes to. It's exactly where.
Oh, damn. Sorry, you guys. We lost him. He's been having internet connection issues, but he'll pop back on just as soon as he can. Anyways, so, okay, wait, there he is. There he is. There he is. Got him.
Yeah.
Sorry, you cut out.
Yeah. So, Yeah, it's been messing up all night. But yeah, if you do a little research, look into Black Lives Matter, the money goes straight to these Democrat politicians and other entities that has nothing to do with Black Lives. There's so many ways this whole thing is using Black Lives to, Black people are being used, police are being used, and like I spoke to you before, it's like I feel sorry for Black people and the police because they're being lied about just for somebody else to gain power. And that's all it is. They could care less about these people. I mean, the original Jussie Smollett is named Al Sharpton. It started with, he started lying about cops doing things back then. And but so many things, you had the cross, Duke lacrosse boys, they got charged with raping somebody, a Black girl, and then they jumped on that. Everything's about race, but it's not to help Black people. It's to use Black people so they can step up, so they can gain more power, more money, more votes, and it's sad. So that's the way I see everything. It's like, Black Lives Matter started, and they were invited to the White House under Obama. These people were marching down the street saying, "What do we want? Dead cops when we want them now."
Correct.
And that was their chant, and they were sitting right beside Barack Obama in the White House. And now I've seen a thing that they might get a Nobel Peace Prize. That's bullshit. Excuse my language, but that's how you gonna get a peace prize? All you are is you're just using Black people. Black people and cops are in the middle getting used, and you're getting targets on good police officers' back because of all the lies that have been made up over the last so many years. I know it started before Barack Obama. If you go back to probably the biggest thing is the Rodney King thing, but I think they've seen the opening. And just like in the Obama administration, they said, no, don't let a crisis go to waste. Now, when they see that every time they can put on the news, and a lot of it's the news media too, they should be held accountable too, because they're up there lying, know they're lying. Anytime you can put a Black person got shot by a cop today, or anything like that, and they run with it, and hide the rest of the story, and run with that, and then get people out in the streets, and next thing you know, we're burning down cities, Ferguson, Baltimore, whatever. They could care less, and they're burning down Black-owned businesses. You know what I'm saying? And they could care less. People are dying because of their lies, and it's the politicians and the media, and people are dying in the streets because of their lies. And then nobody does nothing about it. The courts, like you played the Trayvon hoax. There's so much evidence. It's just like with election stuff. Nothing ever gets done. But as far as this war on cops and things that I see, I speak out, and I guess I'm kind of different because of the fact that being white, a lot of people are scared to say something. So it works both ways. I know Black people that think the way I do, but they talk to me over on the side, because they're afraid to be called Uncle Tom or something like that. But then white people think the way I do, but they're afraid to speak out because they're called racist. I just ain't afraid to speak out. I'm just tired of it,
Yeah, no, and again, just to reiterate, mute your mic a little bit. Okay, there, so I won't echo. So just to kind of touch what we're talking about, Jimmy and myself, Black Lives Matter rose up in 2013 after the Trayvon case. Originally, their website stated for police brutality. We all know that George Zimmerman was not a police officer whatsoever. Then next came, so they kind of like, they basically said they were against police brutality, and now it says all racially motivated violence against Black people. So that was in 2013. They kind of gained, they became nationalized again following the deaths of Michael Brown and Eric Garner in 2015. And they became, in 2015, they became involved in the USA presidential elections. You could Google this stuff. It's all available at your hands. They became involved politically. So again, they have to start off at a certain point and then move their way slowly in, right? They wound up making 30 new chapters between 2014 and 2016. Again, they regained national headlines with the death of George Floyd. This summer, last summer, 2020, between 15 and 26 million people, 15 and 26 million people participated in what they called the protest. That's a lot of people. 15 to 26 million people across the USA participated in that. Just so that you guys know, Scott had mentioned earlier, let me see if I find Scott's comment again. Scott had mentioned his name, and I couldn't remember it off the top. Andrew Gillum. Andrew Gillum is the one who ran against DeSantis in Florida. And he ran literally, if you watch the documentary, this documentary came to life because the person who wrote the book and the movie was actually looking into Andrew Gillum and kind of seeing like what he had about him, what was he about. And then when he it was like an onion. Once he started peeling back layers, he started realizing how they were all connected. And again, anytime you research on your own, which is what I did, I was a Democrat, born and raised a Democrat. Last year at this time, I was a Democrat. Once I started digging and peeling back those layers, one thing led to another thing, led to another thing, led to another thing. And again, I realized I had been played my whole life, my entire life, because I believe that they count on you to not research for yourself. We're so used to like, oh yeah, I hear it on the news. I don't got time for that. I'm busy. I'm here, there, and I'm everywhere. I don't got time to research for myself. Until I actually dug and sat down and started looking at things for myself, I was just believing my family, my friends, the news. So I understand that people don't know these things, which is why I tell you again, dig in, you guys. This gentleman started looking into a politician and started uncovering the lies. He is the person who discovered that the witness who was supposedly Trayvon's girlfriend was not actually Trayvon's girlfriend whatsoever. No news media has come and brought that out. He's been on a couple of different news things, but it's never really hit like, hey, news break, like it's all over like everything else is when there's a police involved shooting or something like that, anything that's going to gain them headlines. But, and just so that you guys know, Trayvon Martin's biological mother actually running for office in 2020. I don't think she did that well, but she's in the political game now. She does speeches all over the world about how she can relate to people in Black communities, etc., because she is them. Her son was killed, etc., etc., etc. So she is there. Hi, John Tisha. John Tisha couldn't be with me tonight. Sorry, I had to go live kind of early and she had plans and I kind of mixed up with what she said yesterday with today because I got a chicken nugget brain sometimes. But so yeah, so you guys start paying attention to what's happening. We are being divided, and by we, I mean we the people. That includes police officers, that includes the Black community, that includes the Hispanic community, the Asian community, so on and so forth. Charlie, they play you like a fiddle. They did play me like a fiddle. They done got me. They saw me coming. But so yeah, so you guys really need to start paying attention, start looking into things for yourself. Again, for those on YouTube, the video is in link. If you go all the way to the top of the comments, it should be the first comment there. I will also play it. I will post it, on for my Facebook followers. I will post it there as well. Okay. As soon as this video ends, I will post it for each and every one of you. Glorification of criminal elements to promote genocide and mental enslavement. Yes. And that is the thing, Taylor. A lot of people don't want to talk about it because, you know, people like feel like if they don't want to talk about slavery, it's like taboo, etc. And just like what Jim said, like, you know, a lot of white people, they don't want to talk about it because they're already being called racist or they have white privilege. So they just stay quiet. But he even said he knows a lot of black friends who don't want to say anything because they're called an Uncle Tom, a coon. I mean, look at what they've called Sunni. Look at what they've called anybody else of color. You know what I'm saying? So there is reasons why people don't want to talk up. But I am thankful for people like Jimmy who is willing to talk up and speak, because we the people have to do the right thing. We have to do the right thing. Period. In this gentleman's video, the Trayvon hoax, he starts it like in the beginning with a prayer and he ends it with a prayer. And they were like the dopest prayers ever. Let's see if I wrote it down. Did I write it down? No, I didn't. I thought I did, but I didn't. But it's in the video. You'll be able to. What's going on? Dang, I'm late. Sandra, you are late, girl. We just went through all the tea, sis. Yeah. I'm privileged, so privileged. I had to work hard for everything I get. Yeah, this is the thing, is that if they say it enough times and the media repeats it enough times, they will believe that it's true. People will think that that's what it is, right? Like if you say, you know, hey, Chelly's an asshole, and everybody starts saying it, then what? Guess what? People are going to think I'm an asshole. Because that's just what it is. It's something that gets embedded in your head. And people don't want to talk about slavery, but this is, guess what? They have figured a way to enslave people without chains. Period. They figured out a way to enslave people without chains by getting us to divide against one another and getting us to go at each other. Like the police are the bad guys now, right? So that's one group. And then you have the Black community, that's another group. And then you have the Hispanic community. And if you've been watching the media lately, they've been talking about a lot of crimes against Asian people. Matter of fact, we had a protest yesterday in regards to it. Now, mind you, there was an incident where a deranged man shot up a massage parlor. And now it's kind of going into like all these crimes against Asians, it's racist, etc. Mark my words when I tell you that I believe that this is like the rise of an Asian Lives Matter type thing. Like basically this is like Black Lives Matter 2.0. That's just the way I feel. I'm telling you, it is coming. Wait for it. It is coming. But that being said, again, I just kind of wanted to touch base. We are going to do another video. I want to do a video with John Tisha. I want to do a video with my friend Josh, who loves these subjects. He unfortunately was working tonight, so he couldn't be here with us. But we are going to do another video about this. We are going to kind of talk about these things. And again, when police officers, I'm going to speak for Chicago alone, 20 police officers either shot at or shot within 3 months. You know how many Chicago police officers are? And I'm going to be generous, right? We're budgeted for 13,500. That's what the budget's for. I promise you, there are not that many Chicago police officers at all in Chicago, okay? But let's be generous, 13,500, that's what we're budgeted for. 20 of them have already either been shot at or shot. That's not including any that has been injured this year. None of that. Now, if you do the math, what is that saying about our police officers here in Chicago? Is there a war on police or not? You think about those numbers. Like I said, Chicago, well, not just Chicago police, but police overall in all of America are 0.25% of the population and are killed, 18% have a higher chance of getting killed, 18 point something percent. I think it's 18.9. I saw a new study. I was trying to look for updated numbers. For some reason, they don't have anything for 2021 yet. And everything that has actual percentages ends in 2019. I'm like, why don't they even have the 2020? I'm going to tell you what my personal opinion is. I think they don't have the 2020 yet because they know those numbers are going to be off the damn roof and they don't want to show that, period. That's my conspiracy theory for tonight. But so everything is going back to 2019. But definitely, Chelly, why isn't Chicago shooting of Black people highlighted in media as much as Asian shooting in Atlanta? Why isn't Chicago shooting of Black people highlighted in the media as much as Asian shooting in Atlanta? I want to say, again, it's the media is going to cater to whatever narrative they can push forward. Like I said, I believe this thing with Asian people being attacked, I believe is kind of like a BL. I believe it's like a, I think it's like a Trojan horse for like a BLM 2.0. That's what I think. And in Chicago, it's not talked about because it's normalized. That is the saddest part. Again, it is becoming normalized. There was a shooting last week in Chicago, 10 people shot. There's a video and there's a guy like recording. He's literally walking over bodies, literally just walking over bodies, and he's recording. And there's like a girl there and they're just kind of walking. The girl's like holding her drink like she never let it go. They're just walking, got their phones out. That is not normal behavior. If I know for a fact, I have children in their late 20s and early 30s. If they were at a party and someone got shot, they would not be standing there recording or holding on to their drink. Their asses will be screaming and getting the hell out of there, probably calling me to come get their ass. But that's the problem. That is exactly one of the problems, is that it is becoming normalized. That this is normal behavior. And it's not normal behavior. Matter of fact, let's see. I'm going to show you guys. Let's see what since you brought it up, let's see what the crimes are as of today. I've showed you guys this page before. I'm going to show you guys again before we jump off, and we'll let Jim give some closing statements. Okay, here, let me share my screen. I don't need video for this. Audio, I mean. All right, so here we go. So in Chicago, this is March, just March. Shot and killed 24. Shot and wounded 172. Total shot 196. 25 homicides. Let's talk about last week. Between March 14th and March 20th, shot and killed 7. Shot and wounded 63. Total shot 70. Total homicides 8. That's in 1 week. 1 week. Year to date, from January 1st till today, shot and killed 112. Shot and wounded 518. Total shot 630. Total homicides 118. 118. I mean, if those numbers are not alarming, I don't know what is. I have no idea that is very alarming when I look at that. That is super alarming. That's why Candace Owens' book is called Blackout: How Black America Can Make It Second Escape from the Democrat Plantation. You're actually right, Adriana. You are absolutely right. And these are the things we're talking about. Again, this is Chicago that we're looking at, but this is happening in a lot of Democrat states. I mean, look at them. Pull them up. Pull up New York. Pull them up and see for yourself. Like, these numbers right here, They don't lie. And again, this is the 20th police officer either shot at in Chicago or shot within 3 months. And we have less than 13,000 police officers. So you guys do the math for yourself. So you tell me, I'm gonna stay on for about another 5 more minutes. Oh, Jim's back. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. You guys tell me what you think. I want to see in the comments. How many of you guys think there's a war on police? Yes or no? Why can't I get to the comments? Sometimes when I toggle back and forth, it throws me out. It's a pain in the ass, to be honest. Let me see if I can copy this. Jim, any final thoughts? You have to unmute yourself. Oh, he's having technical difficulties. All right, again, I'm going to post the video in the chat. I just posted it in the chat again. I will post it to Facebook as soon as I'm off of here. Welcome back, Jim. You have any final thoughts, any words of wisdom for everybody watching? You have to unmute yourself. Sorry, I think Jim's frozen. Yep, he's frozen. He's having technical difficulties. But anyways, let's see if he pops back up. I want to get his final thoughts. I'll give you my final thoughts. I don't know what happened to Suni. Let's see, is he back? No, I don't see him yet. His internet has been horrible all day. Anyways, I posted the link again through YouTube. As soon as I get off the video, I will be able to post it through Facebook that you guys want to see it. You can see it. It's a really good video. Again, we need to start having our voices heard, start having the hard conversations. We are being played. I said we because it's not just blacks, it's Hispanics, it's Asians now, it's everybody. Let's create the divide because that's the way you keep us fighting with one another. Divide, divide, divide. Together, they don't stand a chance and they know it. Yeah, I think Jim's internet is terrible today. He's having major issues. Anyways, we are going to do a second part of this video. I'd like to have a few more people on here. Unfortunately, I couldn't have them on here tonight. But again, I wanted to do this, especially after yesterday's incident, after all the messages I received, after the text messages, the messages in my inbox. I thought, okay, it's time to definitely do a video on this. And again, I'll say it again. It will stop when we allow it to stop, when we start speaking on it, when we start talking about it, when we make it right, okay? We cannot allow ourselves to be divided. We cannot allow this kind of nonsense to continue. We need to speak up on it. Jim, can you hear me? Oh, there, I can see you now. I could see you just fine. I just can't hear you. Yeah, I think his internet is bad. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. I love you guys so, so much. Thank you again for all the calls, for all the love. I will share that video again in my Facebook page as soon as I jump off. Please don't forget to like and share this video. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go over to the YouTube channel and share that. Thank you guys for all the love and the support and the prayers. I am humbled by it. I appreciate each and every one of you. Wait, Jim's back. Can you hear me? Oh, he froze again. All right, he froze again. Anyways, I was trying to get him to have some final thoughts, but I want to thank Jim for joining me tonight for this conversation. I really appreciate him, and hopefully I could have him back on again. I think he has some really good things to say. Anyways, good night. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you can, I would greatly, greatly appreciate you. I love you guys. Have a great night. I will see you for